Kita here from Kitafit.watch. Alright, I'm at the last day here on the beach. I want to just give you guys a real quick pan out. So you can see the ocean. There's Josh out there on the longboard. Oh, paddleboard. Anyway, what I want to do is I just listened to this amazing show. John Gray, he's the author of Men Are From Venus and Women Are From Mars, or Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. I think that's what it is. Anyway, it's his new book that he has out, and he was being interviewed on this radio show, and let me just tell you the bottom line. Bottom line that I learned, because it's so funny, I always tell everybody that in my first year of marriage, I gained weight. And it's because we literally moved 4 times. And now we're, 4 or 5 times we actually moved. And now we're in Tucson. But anyway, what's funny is I always say my body was so stressed out. I've never been able to just kind of relax. But one of the things that I just learned in this show is that when women are doing more masculine things, which I do all the time, I fix the toilet, I fix the cars, I fix the refrigerator, I fix the air conditioner. I mean, I'm always doing things, I do a lot of the masculine roles, I do all the yard work, etc., etc. And Josh tends to sometimes do more of the feminine, I don't want to say feminine roles, I don't want to say that, but he, yeah, it's not that he does the feminine roles. Let's just speak about me. I do more the masculine. So what I just learned from this radio show is to just balance that out. And then sometimes I noticed in the beginning, especially when I was in Tucson, I would get really frustrated with him, and I would say, I'm so sad here. I don't have any friends. I can't get a job. And what I noticed is that he would get really frustrated. Well, what that does to a man, what I just learned, is that when you're putting him in a position of being a failure, of not being able to accomplish things, or you're not feeling happy, and he feels like he's a failure and he can't fix it, what'll happen is you'll actually convert his testosterone to estrogen. So when a man is in an estrogenic phase, right, what that signals to him is flight, to leave, to explode, to kind of almost act like you would as a woman if you were upset in an argument. So, look in your relationship and see, are you empowering your man, or are you putting him down all the time? Is he just not able to accomplish what it is that you're doing? The other flip side is, how does he feel when he looks at you? Does he feel, for example, are you someone, one of the callers called in and she was having surgeries, and she was saying after her surgeries, she has to end up cooking her husband dinner. Well, what he was saying is that the husband doesn't know what to do because he can't fix her. And and again, this is all kind of on a subconscious level. So anyway, just real quick fix. So the fix for that is to give your man some things to do, hey, can you take the trash out? Or can you help me carry the groceries? Or, do you think you can hold this screw while I, fix the toilet? Give him things that he can do that he feels really good about. Or give him things like walking the dogs, and, oh, thank you so much for walking the dogs. But pick little tiny things and build him up. Because when you do that building up, you're actually increasing their testosterone, right? And as women, what we need to do, because some of us that are independent, we've been financially stable, et cetera, we've kind of done everything on our own. We just have to realize we have really high testosterone states. And here's the thing. He was saying with really high testosterone states, you also will have high cortisol states. And with a high testosterone state, your dementia, Alzheimer's, these are all things that go up. Blood pressure goes up, heart rate, heart attack, stroke, what else did he say? Cancer, inflammation, fibromyalgia. So do you have any of these things? Do you have fibromyalgia? Do you have depression? Do you have inflammation in your bones? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel tired? So all these things happen when we as women kind of take on those more testosterone states. And also takes on when we're putting our men down, or when we're delivering them messages that, oh, just let me do it. Oh, you just can't do it. Just let me do that. So it was like really enlightening because it was interesting. I just kind of subconsciously switched over to giving him feedback and giving, good job, honey, good job, honey. You know, thank you for helping me, thank you for helping me. And it's like, it is true. Because a man can only take so much. And if they don't feel like they can make you happy, he was also alluding to the fact he didn't quite say it, but I'll say it. Like, I think that's when men cheat, is when they then don't feel like they're getting that feedback loop, you know, when they're there. And look who's standing there. Look at the good boy. Look at the good boy. Look at the husband. Now, that probably isn't a good way to talk to your man. John Gray would be like, look at that. Good boy, good boy. But see, good boy. He's wagging his tail. But see, obviously you have to have a sense of humor about things. But what he would say is, obviously you don't want to be condescending to your mate. You want to be empowering. Oh my gosh, look how handsome you are. You look so good. Oh, I saw you paddleboarding out there. Oh my gosh, you're like such a super stud. And what that does then is that'll keep your man in a testosterone state, not going over to the estrogenic state. So just kind of see, do you have a partner that runs away? Do you have a partner that is in that flight stage? If you do, you might want to look at, well, why is he in that flight state? What in his life is increasing his estrogen? Does he feel like a failure? Do you make him feel like a failure? Do you put stress on him? How do you talk to him? He said, was the other thing. What is the tone of your voice? So in other words, he was saying, do you say things like, you know, do you think you can make dinner tonight? Because, like, you never make dinner. I mean, maybe you can do it. You never do it. Or you think you could vacuum? I mean, you never vacuum. Maybe once in your life you could vacuum. Like that, he said, will send, again, a man not into a testosterone state. It will send him to an estrogenic state where he'll want to, like, lash out, right? The estrogenic state is the more of the feminine, like, lashing out, leaving, screaming. So you want to look at, what are you doing to contribute to that? So for example, you know, in contrast, you could be like, gosh, babe, you know, I really, really need you to help me. I'm just feeling really, really tired. Or do you think you could really help me? Because, you know, I'm gaining, like for me, I've like gained 30 pounds. I really need your help. If you could help me walk the dog so that I can really stay on target and I can go to the gym and I can work out. You see how that's like, you're enrolling him, you're nurturing him, and that will make his testosterone go up because he'll feel like he's saving the day by walking the dogs. So it's just like, tone is a really big thing, and both the doctors were talking about that in both of their practices, how a woman treats their husband is so important. And this was on another show I was listening to, Barbara DeAngelis. She was talking about how she had this one boyfriend, and she literally was like, you would be perfect if, and she had like 25 things that she needed him to be. And she needed him to be more talkative. She needed him to be more assertive. She needed him, and she had just had all these lists. And he could just never live up to her list. And so she broke up with him. And she was talking about, then one day, she ran into him and his new wife. And she was saying that the way that his wife looked at her old love, she said she looked in his eyes and she was smiling and she was shining. And she could just tell in that moment that he was perfect in her eyes, and the way he looked at her. So in other words, she fed his testosterone and she fed him being a man. And then in turn, when a man feels like that, then he can give that back to her. So, you know, just look at things. Are you treating your man like a man? Do you respect him as a man? Or are you treating him like a little boy? Men do not do well if you treat him like a little boy. And the other thing, this is now pulling from Barbara DeAngelis' show, she was just saying, if you are in a relationship where you're wanting your partner to change, well, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to change this, you've got to change this, and when you do all that, I'll be happy. She says the relationship is never going to work. You're always going to have an unequal balanced relationship, because you need to be able to accept your partner exactly for who they are in this moment. Can you do that? Can you accept your partner? Can you, Josh, accept me for who I am?
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Okay. See, you have to have love. But anyway, I mean, I was funny because when she was saying that earlier, we were listening to the show together, and I said, I was joking. I told him I love him for exactly who he is. You know, he's gonna grow, I'm gonna grow, but I have to focus on myself and becoming a better person. So it's kind of like, I think there's something in the Bible about like, before you judge or look at someone else, remove the plank from your own eye. So don't worry about changing someone else. Work on yourself. Like, what do you need to do in your life to become more self-actualized? How could you be better? How could you take care of your health better? How could you take care of your hair better? Your health, going to doctor's appointments. How can you do that? You take care of yourself, and once you can do that, then you can have the conversation about the other person. Anyway, Barbara was just saying, she's just saying, if you want to have an equal playing field where both partners, oh my gosh, I just said partners. We're both, those two, right? Where both partners feel equally respected, that's when you find soulmates, and that's when you find people that are really genuinely happy. People that walk down the beach holding their hands, etc., etc. So these are just a little tips and tricks. I'm leaving a ton of stuff out, but these are just like my little thoughts sitting here on the beach. Let me just give you another little panel. This is our last day at the beach. That's Hero, and that's Kiko, and that's Josh. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. This is our last night at the beach. Anyway, you guys, I love you so much. Hope this stuff made sense. I just rambled out. But remember to stand in your light, to stand in your truth, and always, always, always be a warrior. I love you guys so much. Remember, be a champion for women. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah!